beautiful for us to be able to move about in.
Yes, and definitely. And we are not only cleaning our homes, we're not only cleaning our environment, we need to take care of our mental health. And I think it was very refreshing that Dr. Collins Badu-Ajiman from the Ghana Psychological Association came out to share with us some of the things we can do, because we're people, human beings are meant to connect and engage with each other. It is very abnormal to confine people, to tell people to don't move, don't touch. So we need to ensure that our mental health is taken care of, right? So if you're home and you need someone to talk to, there's a number that they provided that I'll share with you to call them to make sure that you're taking good care of your mental health. Coronavirus shouldn't be the only thing going on in your life. You have your kids at home, you have your partner at home. Try and live a very normal life in spite of coronavirus. So the number they shared with us was 020-000-9999. You can contact that number if you need more help with getting through this coronavirus season. Some other things they shared with us was, of course, how far we've gone with the testing. Over 6,000 people have been tested, which is a great deal. They are staying on top of things, and the most we all can do is to stay still, comply, do the best that we can to make sure that we stay ahead of the curve. Again, our mental health is very, very important. If you are very religious, this is a time you want to turn to your spirituality to ensure that you are calm. Coronavirus, you might not have it, but you might be suffering from stress, depression, anxiety, panic attacks. Some people might have, difficulty actually sleeping because of this, and you might know someone battling with it, and it might mess with your mental health. There's no stigma. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm going to take a day to myself to clear my head, to reassure myself that I will be fine. And we're going to get through this because the leaders are on top of things. Everyone is doing the best they can. Our health professionals are all on top of their games, and we'll be back to normal before we know it.
Yeah, I like the way he broke it down and talked about different kinds of psychologists who are available for different areas. And one of the areas for me was particular is the work life, because all forms of work life have been disrupted, and it's challenging for people because a lot of people have routine, and they go through that routine. It helps them to stay sane. So when you now have a massive disruption like that, it's a bit disconcerting, and it will be challenging for a lot of people. So we thank the Ghana Psychological Association for the work that they are doing. And we talking about the cleanup exercise that is going on. We're back in Amasama again, and there's an incident that we have for you regarding some people who did not clear their their places of trading and sale, and some of their goods were left behind, and so the sanitation people are having to deal with that. Let's take a look.
Tamami is saying that they are not refusing to reduce the prices of their commodity. Rather, the military and the police force isn't allowing them to sell because of the restricted movement that has been imposed during this period of a lockdown.
Right now, I'm just looking for the owner of this plantain, and because it's getting deteriorated, I don't think this thing can be sold today. So I'm going to call the environmental people to come and have a look at it.
And will it be discarded?
So they have to carry it from there, because it's not helping the system around.
So the MC says that this produce, which is rotting plantain, sort of, is not fit to be sold. So it's going to be taken off, and definitely it's going to be discarded. The environmental officers will come around and ensure that this produce, which are plantains, will.
So there you have it. Some traders left some of their produce. I mean, that's not even fit to sell to anyone anyway. So I think if you go back to your market and you find something missing, probably isn't something you should be selling to the general public anyway. But the most important thing is for all of us to comply and do the best we can. We heard from the mayor of Accra about the cleanup, so we're going to listen to Mohammed Ejay Sowa and then continue the conversation.
The mobilization that we have done, men and women that will be deployed today, tomorrow, and on Sunday to clean up the city. We are using these opportunities to caution the people of Accra that as we continue to tidy up the city, which of course we are continuing today, as you come back from the lockdown, you should observe the fact that we are going to enforce the law to the letter. I welcome you once again, and I thank all of you for coming.
All right, so there you have it, the Mayor of Accra giving us the strategy for the period. We also have the Ablekuma MCE, and let's take a look at what he says.
What we're doing today is an exercise that is supposed to span the next 3 days, from today up to Sunday. About a week and a half ago, we had to disinfect the markets, and this is a follow-up to the exercise we did. So we are doing this exercise in conjunction with the Ministry of Local Government, Sanitation and Water Resources as well. What we're trying to do today is to make sure we clean the gutters, we clean the whole area of filth. That is the exercise we are embarking on today. My municipality has two main divides, if I can put it that way. You have the northern and the middle part, which is I can comfortably say is about 85% clean. Unlike the southern part, where we have a bit of a challenge because it's a slum. So what we're trying to do is we are spending a day to clean the market and the Opetekwe area. Part of the Opetekwe area is also a bit of a slum, but it's a bit cleaner than the other side. So what we're doing is one day we'll spend on cleaning this area, and then the next 2 days, that's tomorrow and Sunday, we are concentrating on the slum area, i.e. Glefe, Gbebu, and then Shiabu areas. So that is what we're trying to do. Tomorrow and Sunday, we are concentrating on the slum area, i.e. Glefe, Gbebu, and then Shiabu areas. So that is what we're trying to do. We are cleaning the drains, we are cleaning frontage of homes, and we are even announcing that if you have any rubbish you've gathered in your home for quite a number of days because you're on lockdown, just come out and dump it in the compactor we are using. We have a compactor moving around. We have skip containers placed at vantage points to collect all that. So we are kind of cleaning everything. By the close of the day, we are hoping that homes as well as streets will all be clean.
So there you have it, the MCE of Ablekuma West letting us know exactly how they'll do it. They're cleaning the spaces today. They'll be moving into the slums tomorrow and Sunday as well. The entire city will be clean by the time we are done with this exercise. Again, it's happening in the Greater Accra and Greater Kumasi area. Our colleague, Nenatufo Boatin, has a report for us on the cleaning exercise. We'll take a look at that and continue the conversation.
The Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources will this morning partner the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Zoomlion Ghana Limited, and other environmental service providers to embark on a cleanup exercise within the Greater Accra region. It is expected that this exercise will desilt gutters, clean streets, mop up the rest of the fields in the communities, the various assemblies, after the disinfection exercise that was carried out last week. Now, this exercise is not directly related to the coronavirus pandemic, but all in all, we know that filth or waste or refuse that has been disposed indiscriminately goes a long way to affect the health of the populace. And so it is a step in the right direction. We're currently at the premises of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, where the team is being assembled. We've seen a number of pressmen here also who have come out to cover the exercise. We've seen some equipment that have come in from Zoomlion Ghana Limited. The expectation is that the exercise will be spearheaded by officials or workers of Zoomlion Ghana Limited under the auspices of the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources, but with supervision from the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. And so the team is being assembled. Pretty surely we'll know the deployment plans, we'll know which teams are going into which assemblies to embark on the exercise. And so we are here to cover and bring you all the details with respect to this national or regional sanitation exercise that is being spearheaded by the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources.
So there you have it, the Ministry of Sanitation actively engaging the MCEs, NADMO, Fire Service, and all stakeholders in ensuring that the Greater Accra region and the Greater Kumasi region are all clean. We know that the rains are going to come soon. It's already started raining. Every time it rains, we deal with floods. And the best way to ensure that we don't have some of these cases is to keep our cities clean. So we start in the Greater Accra region, we'll go on to the Greater Kumasi, we'll move on to other places. The most important part of all of this is to stay home as the exercise is taking place. We're going to make this city very clean. And as you heard from the mayor of Accra earlier, don't go back into the streets and dump your trash there. Okay, there's no point of us cleaning up these spaces if we're going to go out there and make them dirty again. So it's very important that we all come together to ensure that our spaces are clean. The men and women at Zoom Lion are leading the charge. They are the people on the ground cleaning up all the spaces. We started out in our market spaces. We declared a one-day cleanup in a market in Kumasi. We did it in Accra. We've done it in Sunyane. We've done it in the Upper West. We've done it in the northern region. And we are really making a lot of progress. Today, we are focusing on the Greater Accra and the Greater Kumasi area. And the purpose is to clean all these spaces. It's not enough to just fumigate, disinfect. You also have bacteria that you need to worry about, especially since it's going to be raining. People will be suffering from cholera and other bacterial diseases. We don't want that, right? Because we know that if your immune system is strong, even if you are positive, you'll be just fine. But if you're suffering from some bacterial infections and all these things, then you might have some complications. And that's what we absolutely want to avoid. So part of our efforts to stay ahead of the curve, part of our preventive measures to ensure that Ghana is uniquely positioned to not have to deal with the worst cases of coronavirus, we're ensuring that we get rid of the dirt, we get rid of all the trash, we keep our spaces very, very clean. Because if we do that, then we will all be fine and we'll be able to beat coronavirus. And hopefully, by the end of April, we will not be counting any more numbers as far as positive coronavirus cases are concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've come so far, in the last couple of weeks that we've been doing this. It started out almost like a dream in the night. You just wondering if we heard our first two cases, and then the strategy started to roll out as to what we're going to do exactly. And then, we initially heard from the president about, closing, restricting movements, closing borders, all those things. And then once that was rolled out, then we started looking at let's clean up our spaces, which I think was a very critical move as part of the entire plan and strategy that we had. Very, very important because, like we've said and we've known since the beginning, if your immune system is compromised, you're more vulnerable, to COVID-19. So it's not even just attacking COVID-19, but just making sure that we are generally a much cleaner and healthier population. And it's a very important step. And to see that we've gone beyond the markets to now taking the sanitation people coming by your neighborhood. If you have any rubbish, bring it out. They'll dispose of it for you. So I think all in all, we have a very good program working, and eventually we're gonna beat this. We're gonna be on top of this. We're gonna beat this.
Completely agree. And just also remember that part of the reason why we are home is to also ensure that we contain the community spread, right? So we want to make sure that people don't spread it. So when we say stay home, that's what we mean. You may be asymptomatic and you're moving about and you're spreading it. So some people will be coming into your homes if you live in certain areas. For example, like Ayawaso West will gone. If they knock on your door, it's because it's part of the enhanced testing. Although it's not mandatory, we'll encourage you to comply. There's nothing wrong with finding out about your status. And we know that some people now are even being managed from home. So it's not a death sentence. Out of the 49 people who are being managed from home, 20 will be tested again to see if they are negative. If they come out negative, they will be fine. You can still go on with your normal life after coronavirus, but it's important for officials to know your status so that you also know perhaps you may have it, perhaps you might not, right? So we're almost done with our 1 week. Sunday will be 1 week through our partial lockdown. Then we have 1 more week to go. We've all done so well so far. We just have 1 more week to go. And during that 1 week, we are trying to contain the community spread. What that means is don't move. Like the education minister says, the virus moves when you move. So if you don't move, it won't move. The next thing we're doing is also enhancing the testing. So if your area is a hot spot, there's going to come in there to make sure that everybody is fine. We're cleaning up our communities. We're cleaning up our markets. We're ensuring that we're reducing that bacterial spread and bacterial, infections that will come with the rainy season, so that by the time we hit May, we are all fine, and the rest of the world will even learn from the Ghana experience. So let's all do the little we can to make this exercise a success.
Yeah, I like the fact that we have the Ghana Health Services. We have over 42,000 tests available. For now, we've taken 66,000 plus samples. And we are in the process of testing all those samples. It's a very good. I have a lot of hope from what looking at the numbers and seeing where we are. Apart from the 42,000 tests that we have available, we're looking at procuring some more tests as well. Different arms of government are working and pushing for different things to happen in the country. I think there's a lot of good things going on, and I would like to encourage those of you who are at home to look at the home experience as a positive one. Let's look for ways to positively engage with the rest of the family. Let's look for ways of building ourselves up even as we find ourselves at home. Do a bit more reading, do a bit more writing, do a bit more research. Let's build ourselves, and let's not look at it as a time of punishment that we can't wait for it to be over. Yes, it can be frustrating. We all appreciate that, but I think that it's a time for us to understand that, like Jiffa said, if you move, the virus moves. Now, the virus may not come to you in your house, but it may meet you outside. That in mind, that the day you decide to move may be the day that you may meet someone who unfortunately has already been infected and yet not showing it, and so this is part of the challenge that we may face, so you don't want that situation to ever happen to you. So let's look for ways, for each day, just make it a little easier to look forward to the rest of the time that is left, and manage it more enjoyably. This morning I saw a whole lot of people doing the jogging, early morning jogging, and community keep fit and so on. That's not the time for us to do this. It's important for us to maintain that.
Yes, and we have an interview with the finance minister on today's sanitation exercise from the financial perspective, so we'll take a look at that and continue the show.
We are competent in managing the economy, but we are not able to bring people back to life, so we have to do everything we can do to do that. But I think God is with us in all that we do. In Ezekiel, he says, I'll drive the Peace Monday. Parliament is passed the 35 million bill, and so on will also come. So we are really secure in this external shock. We're going to lose a lot of oil revenues. $1 billion.
So there you have it, the finance minister things, and I like the fact that he's saying we're not and we're still staying ahead as far as mobilizing the funds we need to fight this virus.
I'm just seeing him there, and I'm just thinking to myself, it's really good at this time to see all our leaders out there proactively providing information, calming the nerves of the population, and just giving us information that we need, to help us to understand what government is doing. Because here we are on lockdown, we're not sure what's going on in the country, but then they're not keeping our information away from type of things.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So since morning, we've heard from the sanitation minister, we've heard from the information minister, we've heard from the health minister, we've heard of some of our security agencies. About those of you who are not going to follow the laws as far as staying home, there might be some fines for you. And we finally heard from the finance minister, and of course the mayor of Accra also addressed us. We're going to be fine, guys. We're ahead of this. We will be just.
We do have a show as well in the afternoons every 3 p.m. On COVID-19 is a coverage that engage with that 3 p.m. every afternoon. We will be sharing updates, on COVID-19. All right, and then also we have a show called About Town. About Town shows 7 p.m. in the evening, and just basically gives you a sense of what's happening in town whilst you are at home on lockdown.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And if you're just joining us, you get all of this information on our YouTube page, Citi Tube. My name is Jifa Ekia.
And I'm David Kwekusichi.
Enjoy your day. Have a lovely weekend. We'll see you same time on Monday. Goodbye.
Take care.
Hello, my name is Martha Adwanan, Innovations Manager of Jekyll Ventures Limited, producers of Fortifa. Fortifa, certified by MOFA, is an organic compost manufactured right here in Ghana using source-irrigated organic waste. This waste is taken through scientific processes to add value and ensure safety. Fortifa compost is purely organic and capable of recuperating depleted farmlands. It increases yield, and all harvested crops are organic, have long shelf life, and good for human consumption. Fortifa is designed beautifully with directions of use embossed on it. Fortifa is available, Fortifa is affordable, Fortifa can be used on all kinds of crops.
For bulk purchase, contact Jacora on 0289 673514 or 0205 462010.
Without the use of us or like.
I think we will give you that, yeah. So a metaphor, by definition, is a comparison between two unlike things without the use of as or like. Hyperbole is a figure of speech. You are ready to define it, aren't you? What does hyperbole do?
Hyperbole means exaggeration. It is added to create a certain effect in a story.
Well, I think it's only fair. That we give that, yes. A hyperbole is a figure of speech that uses extreme exaggeration to express strong emotion, make a point, or evoke humor. Next question. If a ballad is a type of poem that is meant to be sung and is both lyrical and narrative in nature, then a lyric is what?
They are the words to a song. Yeah, the words to a song.
We'll give half for that. A lyric is a short poem of song-like quality. We'll give half for that. Songs and poems. Next question. What is a rhetorical question? What is a rhetorical question?
question which demands no answer?
Well, a question that does not actually require an answer. I think it's fair. We'll give him that. Next question. A 14-line poem that is usually written in iambic pentameter and has one or several rhyme schemes is known as?
A sonnet.
That is correct. Some people say sonnet, but a sonnet is fine. A literary work that ridicules or criticizes a human vice through humor or derision or mockery is known as?
Sarcasm. Sarcasm.
That's your final answer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the correct answer is satire. Satire is the correct answer. Next question. Name a literary device that plays on words, often achieved through the use of words similar, sounds similar but different meanings. Through the use of words which sound similar but have different meanings. Let me take that once again. Name a literary device that plays on words, often achieved through the use of words that are similar in sound but have different meanings.
Pan.
That is correct. We are going on to another round of literature-related questions. It is an expression in which two words that contradict each other are placed side by side.
Oyemoron.
Well, I didn't finish the question, but put your hands together for her. She looked too ready for that one. If a person who writes poetry is identified as a poet in literature, what is a person who writes plays called?
A playwright.
That is correct. Next question. If Nana is to Atuyosin in The Dilemma of a Ghost, then Nana is to what or who in The Girl Who Can?
Nana Abrewa. Just Mama.
Fortunately, the bell went there. The correct answer is Ajwa. But the answer came in after the bell. Really sorry about that. Next question. So please put your hands together for her. Well, I will have to go back on that. We actually will give you that since the answer just came in a nick of time. So we'll give her that. Please put your hands together for her. Dash is sung to put a baby to sleep.
Lullaby.
That's correct. A tale in which the characters are often animals is known as?
Folktale. Folktale.
That's your final answer, I'm guessing.
Yes.
We'll give you half for that. The correct answer is fable. You are allowed to clap for them. I'll tell you, there's a lot of tension up here for most of these students, so they need sustained through what?
An interesting introduction.
It's sustained through suspense. In drama, the purpose of gestures and actions, or the purposeful use, of gestures